All right, let's dive into a really key part of America's global response capability. We're talking about the Integrated Expeditionary Quick Reaction Force,
Hmm.
specifically the Iwo Jima Amphibious Ready Group, that's the ARG, and the 22nd Marine Expeditionary Unit, or MEU, and this one's designated Special Operations Capable.
Right. The SOC designation. And together, they're often called the Blue-Green Team. It's the Navy and Marine Corps main forward-deployed, sea-based quick reaction force.
So if you need boots on the ground fast, or maybe disaster relief, or even something bigger, this is the call you make.
Pretty much. This is the force national leaders often turn to first. It's designed for sustained power projection, ready to go almost instantly.
Okay, so how do around 2,200 Marines and sailors pull that off, operating so far from home base? It starts with the MAGTF, right? The Marine Air Ground Task Force.
Exactly. The MAGTF doctrine is fundamental. It's not just shipping troops somewhere. It's about sending a fully integrated, self-sufficient, and scalable package.
A guaranteed capability, basically.
Yeah,
Designed to operate autonomously for quite a while.
that's the idea. And every MGTF, like this MEU, has 4 core parts that work together.
Let's break those down. You've got the command element first.
Yep, the CE,
Yeah.
that's the headquarters, handling all the C4I command control, communications, computers, intelligence, the brain, essentially.
Okay. Then the muscle.
That's the ground combat element, the GCE. For the 22nd MEU, it's built around Battalion Landing Team 36. Think infantry, but reinforced with tanks, artillery, engineers,
Yeah.
the heavy hitters for ground ops.
And they need to get around to the aviation combat element, the ACE.
Right. Marine Medium Tiltrotor Squadron 263 reinforced. They fly the MV-22 Ospreys, huge for speed and range, plus attack kilos like the AH-1Z Vipers and utility UH-1Y Venoms. Vertical lift is key.
So command, ground, air. What's the fourth piece?
The Logistics Combat Element, or LCE, Combat Logistics Battalion 26 in this case, this is absolutely critical for sustainability.
How so? What do they cover?
Everything, really. Supply, maintenance, engineering support, transportation, and crucially, medical. They bring a shock trauma platoon.
A shock trauma platoon. So like a mobile surgical unit.
Exactly. Immediate life-saving care right near the action. It's a huge part of what allows the MEU to operate independently for extended periods.
Incredible integration. But you need the ships to carry all this. Let's talk platforms. A typical ARG is 3 ships, LHD, LPD, LSD.
Usually, yes. An amphibious assault ship, an amphibious transport dock, and a dock landing ship. But the Iwo Jima ARG is configured a bit differently.
Right, the flagship is the USS Iwo Jima. That's an LHD. But instead of an LPD and an LSD, it has 2 LPDs.
Yeah.
The USS San Antonio and the USS Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, both San Antonio-class LPDs. That's a pretty significant choice.
Why do that? LSDs are smaller, maybe cheaper? What's the advantage of doubling up on the big LPDs?
Well, the thinking is it maximizes redundancy, especially for aviation operations and command and control. 2 large flight decks, 2 well decks, more command spaces.
So operationally, what does that buy you?
Flexibility, mainly. It really optimizes the force for dispersed operations. You can launch simultaneous missions air and surface from multiple ships spread out over a wider area.
Makes sense. Better survivability, too, I imagine, if things get rough.
Definitely. More options, harder to target. And that flexibility links right into the Special Operations Capable appearance, the SOC part of the MEU's name.
Okay, let's unpack that SOC designation. It doesn't mean they are Tier 1 special forces, right?
Correct. It's not trying to replace specialized SOF units. Think of the MEU SOC as the strategic baseline. It provides the heavy lift, the logistics, the medical support. Things highly specialized teams often need but don't bring themselves.
So they're enablers, but also trained for specific missions beyond standard amphibious ops.
Exactly. They go through intense workups like the Composite Training Unit exercise, COMP2XX, often working alongside carrier strike groups to get certified.
And what kind of missions are we talking about?
Things like trap tactical recovery of aircraft and personnel, VBSS visit, board, search, and seizure for maritime interdiction. They even train for CWMD, counter weapons and mass destruction, under a program called Nimble Elder.
Wow, okay. So quite a toolbox. Amphibious assaults, raids, non-combatant evacuations, plus these specialized skills. And they use tech like the JMP-20 drones for ISR too.
Persistent surveillance is key. It really rounds out their capability. This RGMEU team is certified for pretty much the full spectrum of crisis response.
It really sounds like the ultimate utility player for national leadership, able to shift gears from, say, earthquake relief to major combat almost seamlessly.
That's exactly its value. Highly tailorable, always forward. But, there's another aspect to consider beyond just the potential for combat.
What's
Their
that?
routine presence. Just being there, doing joint exercises, visiting allies like Greece or Turkey, it sends a powerful message. It's a visible sign of U.S. commitment and stability, often without needing to be escalatory.
Yeah. That's a great point. It leads to a really interesting question for you to think about. How much of this force's strategic impact comes not just from the fights it could win, but from the conflicts it might actually prevent, simply by showing up, ready and capable?